Jannik Sinner finally tested at the US Open this year. He drops a set to Shapovalov but comes through in 4. We had Felix Auger-Aliassime playing his top tennis, knocking out the number 3 seed, Sasha Zverev. And on the women's side, Iga Swiatek wasn't playing well at all, but she made it through against Kalinskaya.
That's right, Ben. Jannik Sinner has been tested at the US Open and he does drop his first set. He still was able to win the match, of course, and he extends his hard-court Grand Slam winning streak to 24 matches, which just shows his dominance on a hard court. It wasn't easy at all for him against Denis Shapovalov. We've seen this many times over the years with Denis. He is a player who is able to really produce some of the best tennis in the world against the best players. And then against players who you'd expect him to beat, he loses often, more times than not. But this was a really good match for the spectators. Denis Shapovalov up a break in the third set. There was moments where we thought potentially this was going to go all the way to 5, or could Sinner maybe go out? But Sinner dug in and mentally he was extremely strong in them big moments. His serving got better as the match went on. And yeah, I'm really pleased that Jannik Sinner overcome this challenge. And I think it is a challenge because of Denis Shapovalov playing in this way. And it will hopefully help him play better as the tournament goes on.
Definitely. I think that this is one matchup which nobody really wants at a Grand Slam, which is Denis Shapovalov when he's actually playing his best tennis. And obviously we remember when we first started the podcast, 2021, the Australian Open was the only ever time they've played before. And if you remember rightly, that medical timeout that Shapo took, and then he was able to turn the match around and beat Sinner in 5. That must have sort of been playing in Sinner's head, I think. Just thinking, I want to get one back over on Shapo and make sure I assert myself as the world number 1. Show you what it's all about. Shapo played fantastically in the first set. I think he even played pretty well in that third set because he was up nearly 4-love. But Sinner somehow finds a way to turn these matches around. That's what the sign of a champion is. And now he becomes the 4th youngest man to record 20 wins at all 4 slams after Nadal, Becker, and Novak Djokovic. He's just going to keep on adding to all of these tallies at the slams. Hard court is where his bread and butter is. And I think I agree with you. Him being tested is bad for everybody else now. Definitely. Because, he's just going to now realize, I maybe had a weakness there. I'm going to go practice on that now. It's something we haven't seen on Alcaraz in his matches, though. So he hasn't really been tested yet, but he may get that in the next round. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, Sinner could as well because he's playing Bublik, who we'll get onto in a second, playing fantastically well, probably the best tennis we've ever seen from him. In this match, there was obviously some controversial moments, to say the least. The big one being the shoelace. I don't know if you saw that. Well, I'm sure you did. And it come at a really big time. It was deuce, Shapo serving, and, well, his shoelace snapped and he had to change his shoes. A lot of people are saying it's bad sportsmanlike behaviour from Jannik Sinner. He was sort of time wasting to try and get in the head of Shapo. Of course, he then went on to break as well, which doesn't help his cause. But can you blame him? I mean, if your shoelace goes, what are you supposed to do? Play barefoot?
Yeah.
Or I don't understand. Like
injuring yourself, I think, is the problem.
You've got to just stop.
Yeah. We've seen it in matches before. If the shoe falls apart or anything like that, then you have to replace it. Surely the health and safety and the players' well-being is at the top of everything. You can't really just expect someone to run around if they could potentially twist their ankle. We've seen how bad that can be when a player rolls their ankle on a clay court with Sasha Zverev. We don't want to see it on a hard court with Jannik Sinner. So people are going to say what they want. Obviously, there's a whole group of people out there. Anything that's controversial around Jannik Sinner, there's going to be an angry mob that point it out on Twitter or X or wherever. But that's just the way it is. I think that there's probably the same people will probably come for Novak Djokovic as well if this type of thing happened. There's always a mob against somebody who's very successful. That's just the way things are in sport, unfortunately.
It did turn the match around for him, though, and certainly helped him out.
Yeah, and some people were saying that he was getting helped out as well by the umpire. There was this foot fault, which was called, and this is what Shapo was saying. I haven't got one foot fault. I come here and I get a foot fault. I want to see the replay. Umpire said, Dennis, it was the right foot. And he said, of course it was. Just very sarcastic. And here we go. I'll just zoom in for you. This is the moment of takeoff, let's say. Here it is. What do you make of it? I can't zoom in any closer than that, but has the side of his foot slightly lent onto the line there? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave that up to the umpire. Do I think this has any bearing on the match at all? No. So I'm really, as much as he can be a bit frustrated by it, it's not impacted the match in the slightest.
No, it hasn't. And we were still treated to some fantastic points, like some real drama. There was one point of the tournament. There's a few of these going around yesterday. And I think that Shapo played into this as well by going, like, trying to retrieve the lob and missing it, made it even more dramatic. This is like a picture of Shapo there. Look, just missing the ball as it landed in from the lob. But yeah, those type of things, I equate this to the same thing as when you have a really good goal in football. If the keeper dives and it's top corner and just misses it, it's nearly the same thing, isn't it?
It just makes it look a lot better if the keeper does some dramatic movement and misses the ball. Here, this is exactly what Shapovalov did, and it was a really good rally, this one. Both players hitting the ball extremely clean. And this is what I'm saying. When Shapo plays like this, he's one of the best players. And this is why when we've seen him over the years playing like this, everyone's like, oh, he's a future champion in the making. He's going to win a Grand Slam. He can rival Nadal and Djokovic and Federer. But then he could just go missing for months on end and lose to just 800 in the world. He's a wild player. We've seen him with his serve as well, leaning over it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, that serve. It's not reliable at all. The backhand obviously is a piece of art when it comes off, but it's a high risk shot. He's got, all in all, this was a fantastic match. The spectators are treated to a classic. That was a really good point. Moving over to another match, I feel like maybe we speak about Bublik. I don't know if you want to.
That's Bublik.
He defeated Tommy Paul in a ridiculous match. And is it true that Bublik didn't get broken once in the match?
Well, I'm glad you bring that up. It's not only that, he arrives at the match against Jannik Sinner without dropping a serve so far at the tournament, which is an insane statistic. And then probably the one thing you would need coming up against Jannik Sinner is hold your serve. Because if you can get to a tie break, you might have a chance, but maybe not even in a tie break. That's the problem.
Yeah, I saw John Isner tweeted about this. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
he said to play 5 sets against Tommy and not get broken, it's ridiculous stuff. Maybe Bublik can give Sinner some fits. And listen, I think if you are the way he's playing at the moment, he beat Sinner as well, right? Not that long ago this year.
He did. Yep, he beat him in Halle.
This is a test for Jannik Sinner. This is a tougher match on paper than Shapovalov, and he's playing fantastically well. Do I think? Yeah. So he was asked. That's tough, really tough. It's in 5-set format. I haven't done it yet. I'll try to use my chances, get to recovery now, and I hope I won't be playing at 11 a.m. He also went to say, well, with his serving stats, how good they are. He said, I'm sure that's going to be broken, quite literally, against Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, I like it. Good pun there to throw in. It's going to be so tough to keep that stat going, but how good is Alexander Bublik right now. He just looks like a completely different player to the one we've saw like last year or the year before. So focused, so aggressive, and he looks like he's got every single shot in the book. He just, the forehand, the volleying, the backhand, everything looks like it's, well, and the serve as well. Obviously, that's one of the main weapons he has. And don't forget, he has an unpredictable serve because there is an underarm that he can throw in at any time. So the unpredictability of Sasha Bublik is one of his great suits. So I'm actually really excited. This match against Tommy Paul, it was back and forth, but to win the final set 6-1, that's impressive. Tommy Paul, this is someone who's been to Grand Slam semi-finals before.
Yep.
Could Bublik now use a blueprint that he's seen from Shapo and take it one step higher? Because I think he's better than Shapo for sure. Definitely this year. So is it going to play in his mind though? Because this is a lot of pressure. How can he take the pressure off himself for this match? Because everyone's going to be looking at him going like, wow, you're really good right now. You actually have a chance. I think he'd prefer if people went, you've got no chance coming in.
Do you know what's funny is after he played 2 clay court events and won both of them back to back, and then he played 0 warm-up hard court events. The first match was against Marin Cilic, of all players, at the US Open, where he won straight sets. So he's genuinely on a crazy winning streak. He's just won 2 tournaments in a row. He's coming into the US Open, no preparation on a hard court, beats Cilic, beats Skorkate, and then beats Tommy Paul in 5 sets without dropping his serve. So he is one of the most informed players on tour right now. Of course, they played at Roland Garros, Sinner and Bublik, and that was a different match altogether. It was straight sets, Jannik Sinner. You'd have to think that he's got a better chance on the hard courts than on the clay, but then Sinner is better on hard courts as well. So we should be in for a really good classic. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Bublik can beat Jannik Sinner? Because if I'm looking at the draw, aside from obviously the obvious in Alcaraz, probably he's the second best chance is a Bublik.
Yeah, just because he's so unpredictable, and he feeds off the crowd quite a lot, Bublik, which I really like. Despite playing an American, he's still got his like supporters there. I think he's growing a fan base right now because he started with being controversial. Now his tennis is doing the talking as well. Some of these points, I know we spoke about Sinner in that match, but even Tommy Paul, despite losing, he still comes away and everyone just singing his praises. Like, well, he had a similar one. This was like a winning shot. He did a lob from this corner of the court where he's pretty much point over. Bublik just thought the point was won, really. He was sort of coming in, misjudged it a bit, I think, and it landed right on the baseline. And then at the end of the match, did you see the secret handshake that they've got? But I've never seen this before. I don't know if it's happened. Tell me if it has. Their secret handshake after a 5-setter is a little pinky handshake they do at the net. Tommy Paul and Bublik there. Interested.
No, I've not seen it. But he is a good character. And Tommy Paul played a great match. In America, he's always going to be a contender and someone who's dangerous. So, yeah, makes it really exciting for the next round. Another match to speak about is Felix, because he's done something he's never really done before and beat number 3 in the world. On paper, it's his biggest Grand Slam victory of his career. We saw a few years ago, Felix was in the top 10, a player who's like really approaching the best and thinking, can he compete? And then he's sort of fallen off a little bit, very inconsistent. But this was him playing maybe some of the best tennis we've seen since like 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I think it's he made the semi-finals of the US Open back in 2021, 4 years ago, and obviously lost to Daniel Medvedev in that one. But he
I remember that.
Yeah, Carlos retired in the quarters against him. But is he back to that level? Is he even better? It's just crazy, isn't it? The Canadians are always, they're either terrible or they're amazing. There's never an in-between tournament, is there? They both turned up together. Shapo looked fantastic this tournament. Felix looks even better than Shapo does. And to beat Zverev, who was actually looking like a really solid player in this tournament, And I was thinking, stop tying him in with Medvedev and Tsitsipas. It's not the trio that are struggling. And then this happens. But I don't think this was Zverev's fault.
it wasn't.
I think
This was just a good match from Felix. This was him turning up and playing well. And remember Felix all them years when he was trying to win his first ATP event and he got to all them finals and lost them all. And we just kept pulling him up for it, really, just saying how Felix mentally he's not strong enough, he can't get over the line. Well, there was a similar problem he had against top 5 players in Grand Slams. He was 0-7 coming into the match today at Grand Slam level, and tonight he got his first one. So just like finals for him, he's now been able to break another duck. And then I think after he won his first final, he then went on and did it more regularly. So let's see if he can do that with top 10 players.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Top 5 players, sorry.
Because obviously his next matchup, he'll fancy his chances. It's Andrei Rublev, who took 5 sets to get past Coleman Wong. I know people will probably looking from more of like a neutral view, probably thinking, who's Coleman Wong? How did he push Rublev to 5? That type of thing. But I think you've got to give Coleman Wong some credit. He really turned up in this tournament. He's announced Hong Kong on the map of tennis at a Grand Slam. We've had Ayala doing it, obviously, on the women's side. They obviously both sort of came up together, and it's great to see the stories. Someone's still like carrying the torch, really, for if it's not her, it's him. So, and a very likable player. But Andrei Rublev will be happy with this victory. Don't look at this and think, oh, Rublev struggled through this match. Rublev really turned up when it mattered in the 5th set. And I think he has his best opportunity ever right now. We said it before, and he's managed to get to this stage now where he's only a couple of matches away from that semi-final that's eluded him. He's had 10 Grand Slam quarterfinals, bear in mind, and no semi-finals. And now he faces Felix. Very, very tough matchup.
Yeah, and I think Felix could even be favourite for it. Not because Rublev's playing badly. I just think Felix was very, very good against Zverev. And if he does produce that same performance, I make him favourite against Rublev. The funny thing about Wong Rublev was they practiced a few weeks ago in Toronto together and they did some sets. And Rublev said that he destroyed him. Sorry, no, Coleman Wong destroyed Rublev. Like he just couldn't win a set against him. So it's funny how he struggled here at the US Open past him, and I think he's just a really good player.
Very, very good player, Coleman Wong. And I think maybe it just takes a little bit longer when you haven't played this type of 5-set match before, and it takes a few slams to get into it. He's definitely got into it now. An exciting player. I expect to see him moving up through the rankings as well. Definitely one to watch, I'd say, in 2026 to see where he ends up. But let's have a look at the draw for the men's as well. I've sort of collated them using flash scores so that you can see everybody who's left in. And obviously, this is the side of the draw, and this little quarter here is where the big surprise is going to come from. One of these players will make the semi-finals. Felix, Rublev, Riedi, sorry if I'm getting it wrong, and de Minaur. So that, I mean, de Minaur's made, I think, 5 Grand Slam quarterfinals so far. Felix, the only one who's made a semi before.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one to call. Obviously, de Minaur, you'd think, has a great chance to do it. Yep. But then I think Felix has maybe the highest ceiling. Like when he's playing his best level, I think his best level can beat all the others.
Yeah, I mean, against Zverev, who was nearly unplayable.
He was really good. Like I was surprised. I was really surprised by the way he played against Zverev.
That he stood no chance in the rallies. Like some of those backhands, like literally landing on the line every time down the line. Zverev was running out of ideas of how to beat him, because Zverev can get stuck sometimes in that, oh, I'm just going to rally with you. It's similar to a Medvedev style sometimes. You can't do that, because then if players like Sinner or Felix are hitting hard and hitting winners, doesn't work. You have to be aggressive in today's tennis, especially in the men's game. and that will win you matches. Felix will be licking his lips looking at this draw. He's got a 5-set tied Rublev in the next round. And we've had a lot of retirements in this US Open so far. There's been a lot of hot weather, a lot of people. And Riady has gone through, what a bit of luck. I mean, Kamil, I'm going to butcher the name again. Apologies to our Polish fans. I think Madrazak or Majak. I can't say it. But anyway, didn't even make one set. It was just over before the first set finished. So he's going to be super fresh to play de Minaur. But I do expect de Minaur to beat him.
Yeah, Reedy is 435 in the world. But I'm sure that's going to rise very soon. He come through the qualifying at the US Open. So he's played quite a few matches already. He's beaten Pedro Martinez. And obviously the big match he won was against Cerundolo in 5.
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. Somebody we haven't spoken about who is literally just cruising through the draw is Juan Munar. It's actually turned into a bit of a like unmovable player in slams these days. He wasn't either one. He beat Bublik in the first round of Wimbledon after he won Haller as well. So this is somebody who's actually turning up this year, Munar. And Musetti, don't think that's an easy match for Musetti.
Could go the distance, I think.
Exactly. Everybody's probably going to be hoping for the Musetti Sinner, I would have thought, just because that one, all Italian matchup, that's the highest seeds. But there are probably a few people out there shouting for the Bublik upset as well. And if Bublik was to beat Sinner, then anything is possible, probably. Maybe could win the US Open. I don't know, call me crazy. But we've spoken about, obviously, the other side of the draw already. I don't know if you want to talk about that, or should we just move on to the women's and tackle that one on the next one?
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow, I think. We'll do some other videos on that. Let's speak about the women. And I don't know where you want to begin.
Iga,
Kalinskaya, tie break in the first set, which is unlike her. And of course, she started extremely slow, which is really unlike her. 5-1 down to then win in the tie breaks. It's a really good achievement for her. She saved 4 set points.
It was crazy. This one, I mean, I was watching this last night whilst laying in bed, and I just was thinking, what the hell is happening to Iga? Her first serve in the first set, she only got 37% of them in. It was awful. I didn't know what had happened to her. This was a completely different Iga than we're used to seeing. But as soon as it got to the point of winning the set, Anna Kalinskaya, all of these hard ground shots and winners she was hitting all disappeared. There was unforced errors, double faults. She threw the set away. Absolutely heartbreaking for Anna Kalinskaya. So she obviously just can't handle those big moments of matches whatsoever. And once she lost the match, she went down the tunnel and literally just burst into tears. It was pretty like emotional, dramatic. I can understand. Like, think how close you were to winning that first set. It was right there. 5-1, 5-2.
She's a good player, Kalinskaya. Very, very good player, but mentally needs to do a bit better. Reminded me of a Nissimova style collapse, really.
Yeah, a little bit. It's my worst scoreline, isn't it? 5-2 on a tennis court.
I've beaten you 7-5 before, haven't you? From 5-2 up. So exactly. You've got a bit of Kalinskaya in you.
Definitely do. It's not my strong suit trying to close out a set. And I can only imagine the pressure when you've actually on the big stage, you've got all of the crowd there and you just forget how to serve properly. It just literally, she couldn't get it over the net, or it was just double faulting. Iga wasn't even playing well either. She was handing it back to her, handing another break back to her when it got to 5-all. There were so many opportunities, and you just knew as soon as it went to tie break, Iga's winning this tie break. That's just the way I just saw it. And as soon as she won that one, I thought it was pretty much odds on Iga was going to win in straight sets after that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it went 6-4. I thought it would have been like a breadstick or something after what happened in the first set. So credit to Kalinskaya for making it semi competitive, but it was only ever going to go one way that second set.
Yeah, definitely. It just goes to show she's quality until it gets to the business end, and then she just mentally not quite there. Well done to Iga though, winning when you're playing badly. That's the main thing there, and just going through, and hopefully she will now play better in her next round match. And obviously we've been critical of Coco Gauff and playing badly, so we've got to be singing her praises when she's doing well. So she went through nice and comfortably against Magdalena Freck, 6-3, 6-1. Looked much better, less double faults. I'd say an easier opponent as well, and just really just bossed her around the court. Was impressed by her. And the big match that we're all hoping for is coming up, JG.
Yeah, first time since 2019. I feel like this is the biggest story on the women's.
Yeah.
And one we have to speak about because Coco will be playing Naomi Osaka 6 years on. Coco's making her Ash debut at 15. She lost 6-3, 6-love. We obviously know the famous scenes afterwards. I was watching it on the documentary. What was it? There was Osaka. Was it the Netflix one or something I was watching online?
Yeah.
And there was going into the details like behind the scenes on after this match as well. Coco, you can see how young she was there, but you can see she's become a different player since then. She's gone on to win the US Open, of course, and Coco will be favourite with the bookmakers coming into this match. But I have a secret feeling that maybe Osaka is semi back. I agree with you what you said in the last episode that her movement's improved. I noticed that a lot in the last match. She seems to be hungry. She seems to be very calm and composed in big moments and moving extremely well. In terms of her tennis, for me, it's always been there. Her serving's been a bit weaker the last few years, and she's not finding so many winners, making too many unforced errors. But her ability is world class. So the moment I think she gets all her movement and her confidence back, then I can't see really a way where she doesn't compete for Grand Slam. So I don't know. I think this match is a fantastic one, and I'm still going with what I had, I think, pre-tournament, and that is Osaka to beat her.
Yeah, it's hard to call. I really can't call this one. And I think one things she's been showing that some of the other women haven't been showing is the positive ratio for winners to unforced errors. That's the one thing Naomi Osaka is bringing to the tournament. So that goes to show she is playing very well to hit 37 winners against Kasatkina and only 28 unforced errors. Kasatkina, I was actually surprised that she had the firepower to go with Osaka, win the second set as well. That shocked me more than anything. I thought Kasatkina was more of like a percentage tennis player, didn't pack a punch so much, but yeah, she actually impressed me. So well done, Kasatkina. Really good performance, but goes out to the two-time US Open champion. And the scary thing for everybody else in the tournament, maybe, if she does beat Coco Gauff, she's never lost a Grand Slam after the quarterfinal stage. So she's 4-0 in quarterfinals, 4-0 in semi-finals, 4-0 in finals. It's just the round 4 where she's 4-2. So this is the big moment. If Coco Gauff wants to help the rest of the tournament players out by knocking her out, then go for it. But if she goes through, is it going to be 5 out of 5 for Naomi Osaka?
Yeah, round 3, you can see that's her bogey round. That's where she loses most of them.
Exactly.
Beyond this point, we could start seeing the best of her. And it's been a while since she's been in the second week of a slam. So I'm pleased for her, of course. She's going to have the crowd against her. She did speak about that as well, saying, can somebody come to the match and cheer for me? Because it's a tough playing an American here. I really hope you guys adopt me as well. I see her as a little sister. So she's trying to like claim American citizenship there, trying to get all the crowd. Of course, she does live in America and she's been there for most of her tennis career. So it feels like a home from home. And I think she'll get quite a bit of love from the crowd. She's quite a popular player there.
Definitely.
But against Coco, it's going to be still not as much as her. And she will be... Coco's winners will be cheered a lot more, and she's going to have to deal with that. We've seen her crumble on big stages with pressure moments, with media or fans, and she needs to put that to the back of her mind and just play her tennis, because when she does, she wins more matches than not.
Yes, we've seen Coco Gauff showing her emotions already in this tournament in post-match interviews. She was sort of in tears because she's putting a lot of pressure on herself at the moment. This is the one slam she really wants to win every time. It's her home slam. And when she's not playing well, I think it's like this outpour of emotion keeps coming out. Now she's won that match convincingly. Hopefully we get to see that put to bed. And now a really confident Gauff coming in against Osaka. I want this to be a real high-level match, full of winners, full of drama, and tennis to be the winner here. I don't want it to be dominated by controversy or by somebody having a really bad match. And let's just show the fixtures just before we go. I just wanted to, as we looked at the men's, here you go. This is what it's looking like on the women's side. So the winner of Gauff versus Osaka would play Kostyuk or Mukova. Anisimova had a Maya, so somehow it's still in there. She'd beat Sakari with these. The winner of that would play Alexandrova or Iga. We've got Krejcikova versus Townsend on the other side. Anli Pegula. Quite a few Americans still in, though, which is good for them. Rybakina, Vondrausova, and Sabalenka Buksha there. So we could be in line for the Rybakina Sabalenka in the quarters.
Well, it defines our bracket. Whoever wins that will win the US Open bracket. I'm really confident in Rybakina. I thought she was going to have a good tournament. She completely demolished Raducanu. Like I said, golfing class and level between the two of them.
Yep.
With Rybakina Saba, it is a level playing field, and Saba will fancy her chances. But I don't know. I think Rybakina is playing extremely well right now. And if she does play extremely well against Vondrausova and wins that convincingly, I'm going to be secretly confident that she can beat Saba too.
There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Tell us your predictions for round 4 as well. We want to hear all of your thoughts, and make sure to hit a like and subscribe while you're in the process.
See you all tomorrow.
See you then.